Welcome back, everyone. Mike McConville here one more time. This is a tip for the Patreon, guys. So if you look towards the end of the fingerboard, let me bring you in here. You can see that this fingerboard drops down quite a bit. And I ended up actually having to dress the frets at that junction back to about here. But when you go to do your compensated nut, you got to be careful because you're exerting quite a bit more pressure here. So those notes that you play here will be sharp. So I kind of changed the game a little bit on this one. I used the G note, 3rd fret. This is for the compensated bridge. To intonate the bridge, I went from the 3rd fret. Normally I go from the 7th fret, but that drop off kind of changes the game a little bit. So 3rd fret, G, and then this octave G, and then I'll check it again with the F sharp, and then the octave F sharp. So I did those positions all the way across on this guitar, and it turned out really good. Very happy with that. And another tip about this. So the depth of that bridge is actually pretty thin, and you can see there's quite a bit of protrusion on this saddle for the strings to clear the frets. The other thing is, this neck is actually on a little bit of an angle. You can see that the protrusion of the saddle at the 1st string is actually higher than it is at the 6th string. When you get a shallow bridge like this, you have to get a perfect press fit, and you want to make sure you got a factory edge against that pickup. But at the same time, you have to be careful because if the saddle is loose in the slot and it leans, it'll definitely crack that bridge. So I got a perfect press fit, and what happens is the string energy now is actually pushing the saddle into the slot firmly against that piezo strip. This is one of those engineering challenges where you need to have no apparent looseness because you'll break the bridge and no apparent tightness to ensure that the saddle isn't getting hung up on the walls of the slot. So this is now perfectly in tune. I did relieve the edge of the bridge pinholes just behind the saddle here, just to reduce the amount of deflection as the string comes up and out of the hole. So we got a little kind of mini ramp there to kind of coax that string directly to the focal point on the saddle. You can also see that Robert Godin went with a Martin style nut that's kind of slanted or canted on the bottom edge. A little bit more of a challenge, but we managed to get it done. And now the string spacing, the intonation, the playability is 100%. So this guitar, like so many others, for the first time in years, it's going to be played on a regular basis. It basically sat unused for years on end. It was unplayable. And that's all taken care of now. One last tip. So I do this routinely. Whenever there's a input jack that's doubling as a strap pin, it's never a good idea. It's guaranteed to loosen up. So I put a second strap pin, which is a strap pin only. This is where the customer puts his strap. So the strap goes on here, the cord loops up and over, and this strap pin acts as a strain relief, and then you plug into the input jack. And this basically prevents that input jack from loosening up, which everybody knows they always do. No crazy glue, just snugged it down. It'll never get a hit now because the strap is actually going to be on the strap button where it should be. Cheers. Just about forgot, that is our compensated nut, and these are EJ16 strings, 12 to 53, concert pitch. Here's our intonation check. Here's our G. D. C. F.